Hey guys, it's Miss Sapika. I realized yesterday I forgot to mention that I am in a slightly different setting this week. You might see more trees, big backyard here. I'm actually up at a summer house, at my parents' summer house. So I just wanted to get away. There's less people here. I can be outside and not worry as much about social distancing. And luckily for me, I have all the tools and resources so that I can still speak to you guys and do all my work for school just virtually, since this is how we're doing it for the rest of the year. So if you've been paying attention to my surroundings, maybe you have not. They're a little different now. Okay, so yesterday we started our series about a growth mindset, and today we're going to continue that. So the book we're going to read today is called A World Without Failures. What do you think that might be about? A World Without Failures. Any guesses? Okay, I'm going to share my screen again, and we'll get this story going. A World Without Failures. David was sad, and when David was sad, his cat Einstein was sad too. Today was one of those days when nothing seemed to be working. Summer was coming, and all his friends could swim, but David couldn't stay above water. Then his soccer team lost the match because he missed the game-winning goal. To top it all off, he made 2 mistakes on his spelling test. If I could make one wish and have it come true, David said to Einstein, my wish would be never to make a mistake again. Then everything would be easy and I wouldn't have to fail. David dozed off in his hammock with Einstein snuggled by his side, and he began to dream. Why are you wishing for a world without failure? Asked Einstein. David freaked out a bit, wondering why his cat was suddenly able to talk. But he answered, because that would be great. I would not need to take swimming lessons anymore. I would do it right on the very first try. And I would be able to solve any puzzle and climb the highest trees without ever falling. Einstein looked at her watch, nodded, and walked away. Hey, you guys, what do you think we're supposed to think about the cat, since her name is Einstein? What do you think that means about her character? Just a question. I need to go find Dad and tell him that Einstein just spoke to me, David thought. But when he looked for his dad in the kitchen, he noticed something quite strange. The refrigerator was missing. Now he really needed to find his dad. Maybe he's outside. But when David looked out the window, he saw that the supermarket next door was missing. What is going on? Yelled David. Dad! He screamed. David headed down the hallway. Maybe his dad was in the bathroom. He always takes a long time in there. Just then, David smelled something stinky. Einstein was sitting in the hallway, innocently licking her paw. Right next to her was a big, stinky poop. Why did you do that, Einstein? David didn't expect Einstein to answer, but she did. The door to the bathroom is closed, and the litter box is inside the bathroom. But why didn't you just jump on the doorknob and open the door like you always do? I can't do that. It's too hard. What do you mean? Asked David. It took you a lot of tries, but now you know exactly how to do it. That's not a good excuse. Don't you remember? Einstein reminded him. We now live in a world without mistakes and failures. If I had tried to open the door, I would have failed many times. This is wonderful, David. Everything is so easy. I don't have to try anymore. That was what you were wishing for, right? Is that the reason why the supermarket is gone? Asked David. Yeah, for sure. That's because nobody could build a supermarket without making a few mistakes. That would be impossible. Einstein seemed to know all the answers. And what about the missing refrigerator? Inventing something to keep food cold is pretty complicated. It would never work on the first try. In a world without failure, there would be no refrigerators. David thought for a second, but nothing seemed to make sense. Well, Einstein, if that's right, there wouldn't be any TVs either. Don't you think making a TV is also pretty complicated? As soon as he said that, the TV disappeared. Yes, you're right. There would be no TVs in a world without failures, Einstein said, nodding. David was beginning to feel scared. Then maybe there are no houses either? David asked. Einstein nodded again, and the house disappeared. What about streets? Just then, all the streets were gone. Look around, said Einstein. This is what a world without human failure looks like. David looked down and saw that his clothes had changed. Now he was really frightened. Roar! Suddenly, a big lion jumped out of a bush and began to chase David. Running as fast as he could, David tried to get away. Luckily, just before the lion caught him, his dad swung down from a tree and brought him to safety. They waited together in the tree until the lion was gone. Where were you, Dad? I was looking for you everywhere. I'm so scared. I'm sorry, son. I would love to spend time together, but I have to go out all day and hunt for our food. In this world, no one could have built a supermarket or a bakery or pretty much anything. As it began to get dark, they built a fire to stay warm. David wished for a light switch, but in a world without failure, no one could have invented electricity. It got darker and darker. Soon it was pitch black. David couldn't remember ever being so scared. In a world without failure, everything is so much harder. This world is hard and scary, David thought to himself. He closed his eyes. He didn't want to be in this strange world any longer. David yawned and opened his eyes. Suddenly, he was back in the hammock with all his normal clothes. His dad and Einstein were sitting next to him. You looked like you were having a very bad dream, son, so I decided to wake you up, his dad said. Are you okay? Strangely, Einstein didn't say a word. Dad, I know I said I wasn't going swimming anymore, but I will keep trying even though I may fail. I am sure that if I keep trying, I will get it right, David thought. Not trying is much worse than failing. The end. And there's our story for Tuesday, A World Without Failures. So, do you guys notice similarities to the story that we read yesterday? It's kind of about the same theme, about trying and, not giving up, obviously. As our boy in the story learned, you have to have failures in order to learn how to do new things, right? So here's my question for you for today. Other than what we read about in the story, what are some things that would not be possible in a world without failures? So think about that. Talk about that with your family. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.